Good morning, soon to be afternoon, like really soon to be afternoon. I think I'm a bit late in for the preamble. Let me just get my watch. Got it. So a bit of a short preamble, I think, today. Some would say, not a bad thing. You need a tea towel, folks. What's your date stamp? Wednesday the something of November. I'll have a stab at 11. Is it 11? No, it's 10. 10. I'll have a stab at 10. 10th of November. That sounds like a good date. Should we just say it's the 10th? Good morning, soon to be afternoon. Miss Perry, Maddie and Doris. 3 in. Actually more than 3 in. My count is saying otherwise. 10. Is that a 10 for me, Doris? Fishing for compliments again. The date, yeah, I know. Oh, I know. All right, Super G. Now, I need to ask. Super G, thank you for your message just now. Did do a quick check. And on another phone in the house as well. Who managed to view the Carry On Camping clip that I posted on the pre-message today? This is the question of the preamble. It's not a life-changing question. This is what we do in the preambles. Talk about Carry On Camping clips. Vivian, I can see you've arrived. Vivian and Paul, thank you so much for posting that picture. All that merch, you've got more merch than me. All that stuff, and of course, pride of place is that make moving your mission cushion, Vivian. We do need to get you on board for some kind of mass rollout of MMMYM cushions. Tea towel ready, Sandra, thank you, good. I must do better on my product placement. There you go. Still available from an LLT online shop near you. Carol Elliott, you're in. I can see that the collective were back on the 8 a.m s. Who's on holiday next, Carol? Yourself or Sheila? Can't keep up with your holiday antics, Red Rita. Good afternoon, Bremen. Right, what have I got for you today? Now, if you did see Kettle Lonely, the kettle is lonely. Sounds like a song. I have to write a song about a lonely kettle. There was actually something fairly close to that only minutes ago. If I just glide the camera to the left, you'll see the chaos that is the kitchen at the moment. So I'm not going to. Carol Kent, how are you feeling? How's your hamster chops after dentists? Ready with our tea towels video wouldn't play. Oh no, okay. It was a clip from Carry On Camping, and as I put in the pretext, several months ago. Do you remember I did a whole week on Carry On Carrying with the Carry On themes? I'm going to pick that up again today. See what I did there? Pardon the pun. Pick that up anyway. So we're going to do quite a lot of grippy stuff, reliable grippy stuff. But when we carry stuff, we need to sustain that. So quite often, carrying the shopping with slightly bent elbows, for long periods of time while you walk into the car, all those things. So something slightly different today, perhaps, just a slight tweak. So because there's some kind of constant muscle activity and lots of gripping, we're going to crowbar in a few extra circ boosts throughout. So reliable grip, slip grips, outer thigh squeeze and return, weighted arm lift on a long tea towel, and a knee bend into extended buttock squeeze. That's what my notes say. So let's see if I can translate these notes into movements for you. No, it wasn't just you, Super G. I need to sort out that. Some kind of copyright on YouTube. How dare they? Less hamsterish today, Carol. Get off that wheel. Are we there? I think it's 3, 2, 1. Please say yes. 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon, Bex Townley from Later Life Training. With the tea towel in hand, we're going to do a couple of minutes of circulation boosting in seated or standing positions. You choose which is best for you. And then 5 moves from daily life. Certainly, if you do the shopping. I know shopping's gone a bit online now, but you still have to, pick up the stuff, don't you? Put it in the shelves. Unless you get someone to do that for you, of course. Right, come on then. 3, 2, 1. Again, let's go. Right. Circulation boosting, couple of minutes. Where would you like to be? Seated or standing? Check your area is clear. If you are going to be in stand, as always, have some external support close to hand. Fixed firm, might be a wall. Walls are great because they're really universal for height. Stable chair, ideally of knee height. There we go. Here's your standing prompts. Hip width to start, feel balanced, feel confident. A little bit more activity through your centre parts, and then start. Just get going. Starting steady, keeping it steady. The knees don't get any higher in range. It's really all about this steady movement involving peeling off through the feet, getting as much ankle activity as you can, whilst being mindful that you are still active through the centre and not going into slumpy mode. So remaining upright, this will greatly contribute to balance in standing and breathing and carrying, of course. As and when you're carrying, I mean carrying objects. So as soon as we add objects in on a posture that isn't quite upright, then balance becomes more challenging. Here we go. Moving in, bringing in the other moving parts if you like. The bend at the elbow is significant, just allows more control, more specificity of range. That's the all in, all limbs moving, or you may decide just to keep one in constant support. Okie dokes, keep going. That's your standing prompts. Here's your seated prompts. If you would like into active sit, weight even through the buttocks. You might want to stay here in the chair for your upper body march. Or if you're on your legs in the day, have a hip walk forward. Involve those also in the seated circ boost. There's the lower limb. Start with ankles, going for the low lift, bringing in the arms if you would like. Any combination of those that's right for you. There's another option. And after 30 seconds or so, you're going to start to feel the need to take deeper breaths. That's exactly what we're after for the circ boost. This light lift in intensity, in effort. How does it feel? It should feel like you could keep going if you wanted to, but we just need a couple of minutes to boost the circulation, activate the supporting parts, get you clued into thinking about more upright postures. And now we're ready to go. So that's the circ boost done. And crowbar that into your day intermittently. If you've been inactive or sat for long periods, just to have an active sit or an active stand, just put in a bit of flurry of this light activity. Just so much benefit to be had from that in so many ways. So I'm going to start with, grab your tea towel, folks, just as a bit of a, just to get your grippy zone going. Just kind of have a squish and a roll and a rustle around there, just to kind of get the fingers going and the wrists going. Just a bit of a warm up really there, just to get them ready. And then something more specific. Reliable grip with a sustained hold, which is what carrying is all about. So if you have to carry something, a bag or a box, you're going to be in this sustained position, which is really quite effortful. So let's have a look. We're going to go for a couple of options. Let me give you some seated options first. And in seated, we're going to use the legs as the anchor points. So the first bit we can do is take the tea towel under the leg like so, comfortably. Keep that tea towel wide so that it's physically comfortable around the leg. Take a firm grip through the wrist and just have the arm kind of round about, comfortably bent, elbow tucked in. Give the tea towel a squeeze and then just give it a few upward tugs, and then upward tug and pause and hold. Maybe 4 or 5 seconds and then release. Do breathe throughout this. So just change slightly the kind of theme of the muscle activity. We're just going to sustain it for a bit and then release it, exactly as we would do if we were holding an object. So the wrist stays firm, maintain your normal breathing throughout, tuck the elbow in, just have a bit of a tug and a pull, hold it there, you'll feel the muscles in the front of the arms, and then release. And after some of those, just take the time to extend, open the hand, open the fingers, and then change sides, bit of a tug. So just create a bit of an anchor point, bit of a tug, and just tug and hold, and just feel for a few seconds that muscle activity, holding and pulling up through that tea towel. And then release, have a pit stop through the posture muscles as well. Now in standing, there's a couple of things you can do here to replicate that. Make the loop with your tea towel, like so, and you could use the other hand as the anchor point. Pull, 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 just for a few seconds, and then release. So momentary release, in the same way that if you are carrying your shopping for a long period of time, when the fatigue starts to set in and your muscles start to quiver, what do? We have to put that object down, have a breather, have a straightener. We kind of have a bit of a freestyle, don't we? And then we pick it up again. So the longer that muscle is under tension, the quicker it's going to fatigue. So we're just going to replicate that a little bit, a bit of a tug and a pull, change sides, just holding it a little bit more. In this option, of course, you've got both arms working, whereas in the one before, the leg was the anchor point. So you've got a push away and an upward pull. Keeping the elbows tucked in on both arms there, that's where we're going to get that most efficient position to hold stuff. Other options could be, I was having an explore with this today, if you're in stand and you're confident to not need external support, or you might just want to rest your buttocks on the wall or on a table, you could kind of hammock your tea towel under your buttocks. We haven't done this before. Kind of there-ish, with a bit of a knee bend, folks, there. Use the wall if you would like, there. And then take just a double tug and pull, few seconds, and then release. Exactly as you would do carrying the shopping. Again, tuck the elbows in, and that will give you optimal position to get a good old grasp and grip, and release. Maintain your normal breathing. We have a tendency to hold breath if we're holding something that's effortful. Let me just show you that one again. There. Tuck them in. A bit of a tug up and a release. So we've got sustained, reliable grip with some extra activity around the arms and shoulders. Because we did quite a few sustainedy bits there, we're going to put in now some extra circ boost. So following any kind of periods of static or sustained muscle activity, put in a bit of circ boost there, put in a few extensions in the hands, and an extra bit of circ boost through the legs, just to keep that circulation boosted, help those muscles out that have been fixed in the same position. Okay, ready. Staying on the theme of carrying, I've called this the slippy grippy. We have done this before. Sit or stand, it's entirely up to you. Active sit, if you're in this position. I'm coming to stand because I can get a closer view on the camera there. So everything fairly close to the body again, as you would do for holding an object. Long tea towel. In this first option, my top hand here is the anchor and the reliable grip. So I've got a constant grip, not maximal, just enough there on the top end. The other hand is going to work in a slightly different way. So it's going to take a downward tug and then a momentary release and grip there. So, and each time you do that, of course, you're changing the angle of that arm. So 2 or 3 of those slippy grippies. So this is just getting you to release but respond quickly to grasp. So there's the consistent. I'm going to release and grab, release and grab, release and grab. So just different ways of engaging hands and grasp and wrists as we would do during the day. And again, put in some extensions, put in a little bit of shoulder roll and some extra circ boosts and a little bit more movement in the legs if legs are involved in your day. Change of theme. Okay, we have, here's your seated option, using the tea towel. Seated option for legs. Outer thighs is my theme now. So strengthening or helping movements for sideways movements of the thighs. Using the tea towel in seated, feet comfortably kind of just hip width a little bit closer, knees together, they don't need to touch, but all that activity through the centre. Take your tea towel like so, a little bit of hip hinge and downward press into the tea towel that creates almost a lock. Now I'm going to press out towards my hands and release. So if I remove that, basically the legs are trying to push outwards, but my bit of a hip hinge there and my grip through the tea towel is preventing that from happening. Squeeze and release again. There, so you've got that extra, you've got this movement going on in the grip again and the upper body and the hip hinge, but we're also now bringing in the muscles on the outside of the legs there. A couple of those, have a squeeze and a release. You might want to, again, because there's been sustained muscle activity, crowbar in a little bit of movement in between each one. That's your seated option. Now standing, anything in standing has potential to challenge balance. The purpose of this movement now is all about improving sideways stepping over objects. So it will challenge balance, but I don't want it to, because I really want you to feel a bit more muscle activity actually in both thighs here. So for this reason, you use external support. Walls are great for this, to the side, or a table like so. Stance leg, strong, stable, a little bit of bend in the knee, and the outside leg, just leading with the ankle. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Get the activity going here, and then slowly come back and return. So your hips are working, both hips are working, but in different ways. This hip here is working to keep you upright and balanced. This hip here is working different muscles now to step out to the side. Now, if you like some extra stuff there, you could take the squeeze out to the side, then continue the side step, and then take the stutter step back. So you can increase or decrease the balance activity. On this outward hover squeeze, can you feel the muscles in the thighs working a bit harder on that slow squeeze? Then take the ball of the foot down, and then you can come back. Again, bit of a circ boost in between, a little bit of arms, a little bit of legs, change sides. Squeeze, 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 then take the controlled lower, and then if you like, take the step back. If you prefer, you can take the extended squeeze, step down, and then take a high step back. Lots of options there for you. The seated option, that doesn't involve legs. I'm going to go for upper back squeeze, our classic one. Can't go wrong with some additional outer tug there for grip, and then squeezing towards the tummy there, bringing in the shoulder blade activity there. So this is your pulling activities, pulling open doors, pulling open drawers there. And most importantly, just building movement and stamina all around the posture muscles and shoulder blades. And you've got your wrist activity as well. Firm grip there. There you go. Okay, let's take, another leggy one. Knee bend into extended buttock squeeze. How are we doing for time? Don't want this to challenge balance, so hands onto external support, feet are hip width apart. There's your knee bend. I know you've been doing loads of lower limb squats, knee bends, lunges with cows this week. Slightly different focus here. It's not range of motion we're after. It's the control of the knee bend. Press through the heels Now, as you stand up, focus on press, 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 buttock squeeze. So it's more about the thrust, but it's a controlled thrust. So full extension and kind of adding in an extra squeeze to make sure you've got that extension there. So it's kind of a slow extend and squeeze kind of property. Little bend here, weight through both feet, but predominantly back towards the heels. Stand, 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 but then proper stand and finish off the job and get some squeeze. Seated option on that is buttock squeezes, as always, if you would like, and rehearsing footfall for ankles, feet and toes. There's a couple of options there in the seated option. The last one, all in together, back on the tea towel, weighted arm lift, another carry, another sustainy type activity. We're going to adopt the same position we had just now, but start with the hands slightly wider apart. The working arm is the upper arm this time. The lower limb here is literally just tugging onto the tea towel. The upper arm is going to take the weight of that arm and just extend and return. I'm not pulling down here, I've literally just taken a grip and let the arm then be loose. I'm literally pushing up the weight of the arm. So there is your lifting range of motion there. Up to the lift, but you've added on a bit of extra weight with that leg. It's not a leg, it's an arm. Chain sides, bit of freestyling in between, other arm then, and there you go. And of course you're just lifting to a point that's comfortable for you and down. All of this, of course, can be done without the tea towel if it's range of motion you want to continue to focus on. All right, so your recap was reliable grip and sustained hold. We either had the buttock tug up there, we had the option to loop and sustain and have a bit of a pull there, or we had the option to use the leg to tug up and squeeze there. So a few seconds longer holding that activity there to replicate requirements of lifting and carrying. The second one was slippy grips, slippy grippy, which was quick release, and then regain grip down your tea towel. Changing sides, of course. Then we had outer thigh squeeze, a couple of variations here. Squeeze, 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 squeeze and return. You'll feel this work in the side of the leg, or take the squeeze with the step and the return back if you want extra balance with that, or the squeeze, the return over the top and back. Seated alternative was the seated outer thigh there with a bit of a press and release. Then we add knee bends with extra extend of the hips, that is. There, extend and squeeze, and you should feel some extra activity through the centre here. And the last one was weighted arm lift there. That was it. All of those designed to either in just as the movement snack as you've just done, or take some of those ideas to take into your day. If it's been a while since you've gripped something, get gripping. If it's been a while since you've taken a higher push or press, do it. We've got to keep these movements going in order to keep them moving well. That's it. Interesting moves today. I can see some new names on my screen, which is great. So welcome newcomers. I'm going to go back round and have a read of the comments, and I will see, oh crikey, I'll see you back here in 4 hours for the 4 p.m. See you at 4. Bye for now.